fuck going on, man? Welcome back. It's another video, boys. Your boy Big Jacob, the greatest nigga ever walked the planet. Fucking time out. We're gonna react to CEO, man. Breaking down Charlie Kirk and Black Republican lies about Black American history. The fact that these people go around. Hold on, let me put my screen like this so you can see me. You can see me. The fact that these people go around just lie. I'm like, damn, motherfuckers ain't got their phone in their hand, get look everything up as they talk. Well, it's like, bro, these people just be lying, but we'll see.
Charlie Kirk said that in the 40s.
Let's start it over.
Charlie Kirk said that in the 40s and the 50s, Black Americans were some of the most peaceful, loving, and successful people in America. Our success rates were even exceeding white folks at the time.
That is an inherent trait to the race.
No, I don't, because they weren't that way in the 1940s and 50s. Black America was one of the most peaceful.
They had do whatever the fuck they want. You know, they just this nigga Charlie Kirk is goofy. I ain't gonna lie, this nigga is a goofy. I always been a goofy. And if you watch his I don't never watch it, but but a lot of his contents revolve around black people. And he a white dude. And it's funny because he don't talk about none of the things his people do. They shoot up, do the schools. They got the highest, child crime rates. I'm talking about, bro, y'all got so many things y'all could talk about, but I think all that shit is agenda, is racism, is a joke, bro.
Not genetic. You're trying to point something on me that I don't believe. In the 1940s and 1950s, Black America was prosperous and was on pace to be richer and wealthier than white America. More dads were staying with the women that they were with. There was monogamy. What changed?
You're supporting my argument.
No, hold on, but what?
The systems the white people put in to destroy the wealth of the blacks, and the systems y'all keep trying to do. Y'all literally was like, we not gonna let the enslaved people get freed in less than 100 years. Build a better and more prosperous country than what the hell we already did. So it's jealousy.
Answer the question. What changed? Did America get more racist since 1950?
I would argue there were more racist policies passed. There were more policies dedicated to lining off those communities and pushing them into poor housing and poor schools.
Wait a second. In the 1950s, Jackie Robinson had not even broken the color barrier. We had Jim Crow laws. We hadn't passed the Civil Rights Act, and we hadn't passed the Voting Rights Act. Yet blacks were better in the 1950s per capita than they are today. Blacks,
we was more connected and more together in the 1950s than today. Then after that, as we was together, bro, they came. You got the Ku Klux Klan. You got the motherfuckers lynching people. They still lynch people to this day. You can literally find cases of that shit happening consistent. Now, I ain't gonna say consistent, but you can still find cases of that happening. I ain't gonna say consistent, but it's like, it's the reason that civil rights happens in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Dude said y'all was good before y'all had y'all civil rights. And once y'all got rights, I think all of a sudden y'all became, no, bro, it's just goofy.
Than they were 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll answer that for you. In the 1960s, of slavery, right? So we were set free from democratic slavery thanks to Republicans who went to war for us in the Civil War to set us free, only to be recaptured by the Democratic Party in the 1960s. But this time we weren't slaves to physical chains, we were voting slaves, mental slaves to the Democratic Party.
I do believe in the next president election, right? I do believe black people will become more Republican instead of Democrat, because we vote as a group. and it's the most smartest thing to do. Honestly, it is, and I like the fact that we do that. And I do think we go become more Republican over time. I do think that
This party literally
and the
broke.
Democrats they go want us to they go do what the fuck they can to keep us here, but they don't really give a fuck. Republicans don't really give a fuck about us either. And all I'm saying is this: we should vote as a group and move at one and say, hey, bro, this is what we want. Simple. You want us? If you give us this, you got 50 million motherfuckers. There's 50 million votes coming your way, just like that. And the influence of the black community, just like that. Give us what we want. We give you a vote. Simple. Just leave us alone.
The black community. And what I mean by broke is Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Man in the House Act. What this basically said was all black families receiving federal assistance and aid would be cut off if there was a male living in the household. So basically, black fathers could not live in the household with black families or they would be cut off from federal assistance. This incentivized black mothers.
And that's the thing. Y'all should have never chose the system over the man. Because now look at us now in 2026 trying to get back together. It was a trap. Why would you pick the system that enslaved you and prosecuted you over the man that's helped you fight for your freedom? Make it make sense. It was a trap. And the women fell for it. I ain't gonna lie. I love my women though, but they did fall for it.
To remove black fathers from the house in order to receive federal funding, and complete devastation and destruction followed in the black community. Yes, we went from 2-parent homes in the black community upwards of 80% in the 1940s to having less than 20% of both parents in the black household. So his strategy worked. This broke the black family, resulting in poverty and dysfunction for generations, rendering the black community dependent and reliant on the Democratic Party for their survival, locking in and guaranteeing their votes for generations, like Lyndon B. Johnson.
No, they had the women. Bro, yeah, they threw that wrench at us, but at the end of the day, bro, we gangsters and we learn how to fix things and keep going, bro. Yeah, and no one's perfect. I ain't saying we are perfect people, but we are a great people.
Johnson said, I'll have these N-words voting Democrat for 200 years. And by God, his strategy worked and he was right. Because look where we are today. We've been aligned with the Democratic Party for the last 60 years, and conditions in our community.
Nigga, you ain't getting that 200 though. But probably the Republicans can. They got a way to do it.
Have only gotten worse. They have not gotten better, because that was the purpose. That was the design. I talk about this in
a lot of points was made. I wanted to play it through. Now let's get to the truth.
Charlie Kirk said that in the 40s and the 50s, Black Americans were some of the most peaceful, loving, and successful people in America. Our success rates were even exceeding white folks at the time.
That is an inherent trait to the race.
No, I don't, because they weren't that way in the 1940s and 50s. Black America was one of the most peaceful, flourishing, fastest growing economically communities in the country. It's not genetic. You're trying to point something on me that I don't believe. In the 1940s and 1950s, Black America was prosperous and was on pace to be richer and wealthier than white America. More dads were staying with the women that they were with. There was monogamy. What changed?
You're supporting my argument.
No, hold on. But answer the question. What changed? Did America get more racist since 1950?
I would argue that.
Why this man sitting down arguing first of all, it's a white girl, and a lot of people in the crowd is not be black. You see this? You got a white dude sitting down at a college campus with a bunch of white students or non-black students talking about black people problems. My God. Oh my God. The amount of attention they're going to give us and all the problems in the white community, they just don't talk about it at all. Why do they focus on us so much? My God.
There were more racist policies passed. There were more policies dedicated to lining off those communities and pushing them into poor housing and poor schools.
Wait a second. In the 1950s, Jackie Robinson had not even broken the color barrier. We had Jim Crow laws. We hadn't passed the Civil Rights Act.
Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947. So clearly Charlie Kirk, in his time.
Let me look. I know, because like I said, The nigga Charlie don't be knowing shit. And if, like I said, you guys look the shit up. Cause I know the nigga ain't right, bro. And he's right. The nigga Charlie Kirk literally just be saying shit. Dude literally just be talking. And I'm checking dude because nigga, you talking about my people all the damn time. Dude just be talking, bro. What up? So you can't believe what these folk be saying, bro. Just literally look it up, bro. Dude just be talking, bro.
Wasn't well read, and unfortunately, it was nobody there that was, intellectually sound enough to be able to challenge him, because he go to colleges where he talking to a bunch of young people that just don't know no better.
College don't mean you smart, just mean you educated. What's the difference between being smart and being educated? Smart, you probably know a couple of things. I don't know. You smart in a certain subject. Probably smart in a certain subject, because I met people who went to college for like sociology and they swear they know everything about everything in the world. I was like, bro, you didn't go to college for learning all types of shit. You guys went to college for a certain thing. Why the hell motherfucker got a whole degree in something you can learn online? Let me shut the fuck up.
Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947. Now, a lot of good points was made in this video, especially when it comes to black fathers being in the households, and
we need fathers in the households. Period. Point blank. Period. I met girls who be like, we don't need men. We just want them. You want them so much, you feel like you need them.
A lot of even when the young woman was speaking, she was speaking about certain policies and laws. Like that's true. This was during the same time. I love this argument. They like to talk about, you'll see a lot of these white supremacists, and Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist, but he was just a lower level on a totem pole type of white supremacist. Yes, coming from somebody who leans on the conservative side, which that's me. I stopped calling myself conservative because it's just too much. I don't go
off politic labels. I don't label myself off a politic label, because at the end of the day, you just put yourself in a box and then in the group. And as soon as you agree with anything that the liberals say, oh, you ain't conservative no more. Like, bro, the liberal just said the truth, and the conservative just said the truth today. Both of y'all say truth things. Both of y'all goofies. Both of y'all be on some rage. I don't put myself in a kind of category because I. Subject, you say you're very liberal on this subject because it's the truth. I don't care what it is. That might be a conservative leaning thing or liberally. It's the truth at the end of the day. That's what matters.
Either side, but I definitely lean more towards the right with like overwhelming majority of all my beliefs. But you'll hear this a lot where they'll be like, well, why don't the blacks act like blacks from back in the day? They like to use the blacks, but they say, well, why don't you guys act like how you used to act back in the day? The 1920s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Well, 1950s and 60s there were still Jim Crow laws going on.
Jim Crow.
During the 1920s and 30s, that was during the Harlem Renaissance. So it's so funny how they'll say on one end that, this was during a time where black people were just better and they were more prosperous, more education, more families, they were, less likely to commit crimes and things like that. But this was the same time that we dealt with the most racism, as far as like, put from a policy standpoint. Right. I mean, it was people getting dog sick on them during the Harlem Renaissance, which was, again, I love to talk about the Harlem Renaissance because it was some of the most like artistic black people of all time at that point, just coming about and just being open about their creative ideology and the things that they wanted to create, and, the way that they presented themselves, the way that they talked, the way that they spoke. People with just all this intellectual property they put out to the world. And this was at the same time where they were dealing with some of the most racism, even with the 1940s and 50s. The 50s and the 60s. Again, Sure, yeah, black people were a lot more better off back then. But again, at the same time, where these same black people were seen as thugs and seen as these killers and these crazy, horrible people. So it's funny that the most like the so-called best black people, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call it, were dealing with the most racism at the time from the same government who didn't want to even give the people what they deserved. I mean, this was during the time of the GI Bill, where like black veterans weren't even allowed to come back home after the war and get the things that they deserve, and they were owed just the benefits of being in the military. They weren't allowed to get the same stuff. So I find it funny that they always want to revert back to this time frame, but they don't want to mention the other stuff. It's like, oh, what happened? Well, y'all happened. Not all white folks, but the people in charge who was, wanted to instill systematic racism, and it's a real thing. That's what happened. Let's keep going.
And we hadn't passed the Voting Rights Act, yet blacks were better in the 1950s per capita than they are today. So we have become less racist. We've passed more anti-racist laws and given more stuff, and blacks are worse than they were 70 years ago.
Given more stuff.
That's not true. No, we don't.
As if I think my thing went out. It's funny that he said giving more stuff. We're giving you guys stuff. Well, you're not giving us anything. We built the majority of the country. So you to say, for Charlie Kirk to say, we just gave you guys stuff. You didn't give us nothing. Everything Black Americans got, they earned for and fought for and worked for. That's my ancestors. So when you say giving us stuff, we got to let these word games. Facts. You didn't give Black Americans nothing. My ancestors worked and fought for everything that they got. I didn't give nobody nothing.
Notice he never said
why.
I'll answer that for you. In the 1960s, Black Americans followed Martin Luther King into the Democratic Party, the same party that was responsible for all of the horror and terror Black folks faced in America up until that point.
Now let's stop right there. So the Democratic Party is a piece of shit. We know that. The Democratic Party is inherently racist. But this is the thing that you don't want to
people who be Democratic. I met people that's Black, that's Democratic and Republican. I'm like, bro, doesn't even fucking matter. They were like that. Then they were like, you gotta choose the less of. They both evil and choose the less evil one. Says who? Who the fuck? Why the fuck I gotta choose the less evil one? I ain't gonna choose not one of them motherfuckers. Well, they gonna have to be in office. Okay, then let them choose who be in office. Why the fuck I gotta choose the less evil motherfucker? Nigga, fuck them people, man. They gonna be evil any fucking way. It's both evil. What the hell? No, man. Wait for just everybody doing that shit, man.
Caught up in. Don't get caught up in this whole thing. Well, it's the Democrats, it's the Democrats, it's the Democrats, and then take away from the accountability of the Republican Party, because very much so the Democratic Party is racist, and the Democratic Party should be held under the same light, should be held under a deeper light than the Republican Party, simply because that's the party that Black Americans has been attached to for so long. But don't get caught up in this whole thing that like the Democrats are racist and the Republicans are not. That's two sides of the same coin. It's no different from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. One of them we've just been connected to for so long.
Yeah.
All right, my bad, y'all. Some technical difficulties. My mic had went out on my PC, so I'm using my laptop right now. But I wanted to add on another point too. During this time frame, people love to say like, the Republican Party is for Black people, or it's just not as racist. Although the Republican Party didn't create the Jim Crow laws that came from the Democrats in the South, held it. At the end of the day, the Republicans did nothing to stop the Jim Crow laws during the same time.
That's the thing I be talking about. These motherfuckers be like, the Republicans racist, or the Democrats racist, or whatever. Woo, woo. Then with the opposite party getting the power, why you don't stop the systems they just made to keep the racism going? They keep the systems going. The Democrats will be like, look at the Republicans, they racist. Then the Democrats get in office, but they keep the system going.
It was just so not racist, or the Republicans was just so better for Black folks, and then the Republican Party would have did something to at least stop, or to at least hinder the abuse of these Jim Crow laws during the same time period. They didn't do that. The same Republicans in 1877, the Compromise of 1877, these were the same time where they took troops out of the South just so that
these southern areas could instill certain laws and policies to undermine Black Americans. Herbert Hoover, even during his time, he was the same person that started that little Lily White shit, where they wanted to remove Black people out of the Republican Party to make it easier for white voters to feel comfortable to want to support the support the Republicans or to vote for on the Republican side. So don't get caught up in this whole the Republicans is different. That's why I don't never label myself no Republican. I'm not no Democrat. I lean more towards the right just with my political beliefs. But as far as being connected to any side, man, neither of this side is for you. And if you do enough history, unfortunately, now I don't know this man, so I'm not going to disrespect the man, but most of the people that these so-called Black Republicans like him or others that may be like him, that's what they do. They just want to be on the contrary just to seem cool. I'm not like those Blacks. I'm one of the Blacks over here. I'm not oppressed. Well, being knowledgeable.
I'm a straight nigga. Yes, Lord. Soulaan, FBA. I'm with my liberal Blacks and my conservative Blacks. I'm with all the Blacks, man. I'm with the shit. Don't kill me though. We ain't with nobody. I love my people, man. I love Black. I love Soulaan. Then I love America. I love my Soulani people. I love all my Americans. I love all the planet. I love everybody. I just gotta order.
Boy, ain't got nothing to do with you being oppressed. You could be a conservative and you could still do your thing and still think not how the majority of folks think and still understand the history and the laws and the policies that which both sides has set up on Black Americans. So it ain't got nothing to do about being oppressed. Ain't nobody stopping me from doing nothing. I'm a grown ass man. But what it is to say is history still matters. So mentioning history doesn't mean that you're being a victim. I'm not being a victim of a damn thing.
No,
I'm just
it's facts. Like motherfuckers acting like, oh, he crying history, dude. No, bro. Today it's the result of history. I always remember that. What happened today is the result of history. A lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you telling me history don't matter? What you did yesterday is the reason you feel your stomach hurt today because you ate all that nasty ass food. You feel me? So at the same time,
adding on the facts.
I ain't the best nigga to explain it, but goddamn the mother, goddamn.
F both of them. Let's keep going.
Up until that point, yes, you did know the Democratic Party was indeed the party of slavery, right? So we were set free from democratic slavery thanks to Republicans who went to war for us.
We were set free from democratic slavery. First of all, we fought for our freedom. Second of all, it was slavery from the right race, period. Not the Democrats, not the Republicans. It was the white folk, period. Both sides ate off that system, period. I will never in my life disrespect my ancestors by saying, oh, it was the Democrat slavery, the Republican slavery. Well, it was just white people slavery. White people enslaved Black people, period. I don't know why they trying to No, bro. Keep it funky, man.
In the Civil War to set us free, only to be
lies. They did not go to war for Black Americans to set Black Americans free.
That's all done.
The Republicans who went to war during that time went to war because they just didn't want to have their rights being imposed from the North. That's the reason why they went to war. They didn't fight for Blacks. They didn't fight to stop slavery. If anything, Black Americans fought for our own slavery because during the same time, Abraham Lincoln, he basically put out a petition. Hey,
he didn't really fuck with the Blacks, but he seen the opportunity. Abraham Lincoln didn't really fuck with Black people. He just seen the opportunity. That's why Abraham Lincoln wanted to kick a majority of the Black people out the country after and during the war. Look it up. He didn't really fuck with the Blacks.
Black Americans, if y'all want freedom, hey, go fight in this war because the North was getting their ass kicked. So that's the whole reason. So don't get caught up in that lie that they fought to save the rights of Black people. No, they didn't. They fought to save their own ass. And just so happened, which was in the documentation and the paperwork, is that if you fight in this war, then you'll become a freeman. And even after they were so-called free, they still was getting discriminated against. They still have laws and policies where they couldn't even be,
After the war, they had Jim Crow. They had all these things going on. The South just lost. Mind you, the conservatives, what the fuck that was called? The South just lost, right? The Union Army and whatever the fuck this shit was, right? The South just lost after the war, and what they did, they put in Jim Crow laws. Why the North let the South added Jim Crow laws and no. That shit dead, bro. That shit dead, bro. No, the North was a part of it. The KKK was a Republican and a Democrat. What are you talking about? It was they personal reasons they went to war with each other. We fought for our own freedom, bro. That's facts, bro.
They couldn't even receive the benefits of, again, being a part of the military or just being an American citizen. So that you can miss me with all that.
Captured by the Democratic Party in the 1960s. But this time, we weren't slaves to physical chains. We were voting slaves, mental slaves to the Democratic Party. This party literally broke the Black community. And what I mean by broke is Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Man in the House Act. What this basically said was all Black families receiving federal assistance and aid would be cut off if there was a male living in the household. So basically, Black fathers could not live in the household with Black families or they would be cut off from federal assistance. This incentivized Black mothers to remove Black fathers from the house in order to receive federal funding. And complete devastation and destruction followed in the Black community. Yes, we went from 2-parent homes in the Black community upwards of 80% in the 1940s to having less than 20% of both parents in the Black household. So his strategy worked. This broke the Black family, resulting in poverty and dysfunction for generations, rendering the Black community dependent and reliant on the Democratic Party for their survival, locking in and guaranteeing their votes for generations. Like Lyndon B. Johnson said, I'll have these N-words voting Democrat for 200 years. And by God, his strategy worked and he was right. Because look where we are today. We've been aligned with the Democratic Party for the last 60 years, and conditions in our community have only gotten worse. They have not gotten better, because that was the purpose. That was the design. I talk about this in much more detail in many other.
So it's a lot of truth to everything that he said outside of that stuff too. I just wanted to add the other side of it. Don't get caught up on that Republican Democrat, but yeah, he's 100% correct when it comes to that. The Black family was deconstructed, the deindustrialization of the Black family, which started well before the 1970s. But from a local perspective, when it came to these Black communities, it started in the late 60s, early 1970s. I say this all the time. Most Black men, you were able to graduate from high school with a certificate or some type of, certification of being a welder or being a mechanic or whatever, what have you. And during the same time, they deindustrialized these schools. So there was no certification, there was no certificates, there was no, paperwork or documentation to say that you knew what you was doing. On a government, if you have a man here, we won't give you no money. If you have more children, we will give you more money. And when you have a community that's primarily led by women, it's going to be destroyed. It has nothing to do with them just being Black women. This is just women across the general. Women need to be led by men. It just is what it is. And you see the Black community is a prime example of that, which is why not everybody, but too many of the Black community is just operating in dysfunction. And it's just because of these single parent households. Now, it's something that's systematically said, yes, but it's something that needs to be fixed. So this is what I talk about a lot of my content. So appreciate y'all being here, watching this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next.
There you go. Yo. That's your boy, Big Up Jacob the Greatest. And that's your great video for the day. I don't put another, goddamn. But yeah, man, I gotta. Man, personally, I love my people. I always love my people, bro. I ain't got no hate to no other group. Fuck, I'm gonna hate you for, niggas irrelevant. Like, no. I gotta love my people, gang. But I'll be back. This your boy, Big Up Jacob the Greatest, and I'll be back with another video.